Hey, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, one half of the Dungeon Swag team. And we're back for part two to work on our pack mule here. And I did miss something important. See right there? That's that little mold dot that he had. And we could probably glue a shield or something on there afterwards if I remember. But as far as it stands right now, I'm not super pleased with it. So let's start by painting our guy gray, our mule, donkey or whatever. Let's get him gray. Oh, we're going to do this dark gray first. This is pavement, and then we're going to come back and do a lighter gray over that. We're looking for pretty fair coverage. Doesn't have to be perfect, but we want to get them coated. This is probably a bigger brush than I really needed, honestly, but it's going to be alright. And if this brush isn't too big to do it, yeah, let's hit these rocks on the ground down here. They're a little big, but that's alright. It's a little big, I should say. That's what she said. What? Ignorant. Ignorant Doom. Saying terrible stuff. Okay. So, we want to make sure we got his body covered pretty good with the gray. If you get it on that strap down there trying to get it all covered, that's okay. We'll come back and we'll clean that up with a slash of brown a little bit here. Okay, let's get this put away. There, let's get it brown. This is that generic dark brown I use for everything. That burnt umber. And I'm just going to hit his base with it. As soon as I get done here, I'm going to have some more adult beverages and go swim. Because swimming feels good. There's a breeze kicking though. There might be a storm. My second oldest boy and his girl are going to come over and swim too. So, can't fart in the pool. I'm just kidding. I'll still fart in the pool. Alright, let's get these brown bags browned out. And that cloth underneath there browned out. Let's get a shovel brown. Get the box. Make sure you get that cloth underneath there so you can see that it's not, you know what I mean? Get in here and get inside that bedroll. Probably should have used a smaller brush for this too, now that I'm looking at it. Already got some brown paint on his flank. I got some cloth sticking out down here. Let's nail that. I'm going to drag that across that strap that goes under him there. Trying not to get it everywhere else, if I can help it. There we go. Starting to look like something, huh? We don't know what, but something. Now, you're going to have some spots where you can't get the paint, and that's okay. those dark spots will be in the recesses and stuff. It won't be super noticeable. But you're starting to see that our donkey's pack mule or whatever he is starting to look like we want him to. We're getting the right direction for sure. All right, so let's hit him with a hair dryer. Let's speed this process up a little bit. Let's lighten him up. Let's do some dry brushing on his brown parts here. There's a paintbrush, or a paintbrush. There's a ice cream truck. All right. I had a brush. I can't find it. It was like a really cheap makeup brush that was perfect for this kind of stuff. I cannot seem to find that dang thing. Did I put it in a drawer? No. Oh, it's gone forever. I have to get me another one. Alright, so we're just going to wipe a lot of that off. And we're going to start hitting this to give it some different color. So it's not all one color. Really, you can put as much or as little effort into this as you like, this part here. For me, I have several of these already I've made and I don't really need more. So I'm going to do enough to make it look okay. Give it a little bit of texture. Okay. All right, let's hit it with the hair dryer. Okay. Starting to look all right, isn't it? Or at least all right for what we need it to be. It's not perfect, obviously. So I got some khaki here. Let's get a little bit of khaki. And a little bit of that brown. Let's get a soft brush. A soft brush, I said. There we go. Let's get a lighter color. Wipe a lot of that off. And let's kind of just start touching and bringing out some of the 3D sticking up parts we can. Just to give this a little bit of depth and interest. And let's lighten that up a little bit. Do the same thing again. Just kind of hitting where we want to catch some of the texture. I would recommend that you leave that brown part underneath alone the best you can at this point. Starting to look good. So now I'm going to get a smaller brush. I'm going to dip it in water. Get some of this darker brown. Water that down a little bit. Then I'm just going to touch some of these spots that I want to be a little bit better. Like a little darker, I mean, not better. So I'm going to do these like straps that are on the box. And then maybe I'm going to darken one of these bags up a little bit again. Just real thin, watered down. So you won't lose all the highlighting you did with that little bit of dry brush. You won't. It'll dry up and it'll look okay. I'm going to hit this backpack with it too, I think. Just to give that a little bit of meow. Okay. Then I want to get this strap down here pretty good. So it's not the same color as that dark brown that we base coated everything with. It's not about perfection there, you know. It's about getting some paint on it. So we're going to get a little bit of metallic and do that axe and that shovel. So we're just going to get that, do that shovel piece. Again, I'm not looking for perfection, just some coverage. Let people know that this is metal and it's a different piece. But it's not, you know, like a nice battle axe. It's a, you know, it's a hewing axe for chopping wood and such. I suppose you could use it to whack somebody good if you needed to. All right, so let's look at our body here and see all the mistakes we got to fix. Let's get a lighter gray. Let's get a brush. Let's get some of this paint off of here. Just kind of lighten him up some. And see where I got a little bit of brown on the body and stuff. I'm just hitting that with this and trying to cover that up the best I can. His leg was a little wet, so I just drug it around to lighten it up. And you definitely want to do a better job of lightening them up and adding some texture on some of these higher spots than you have to worry about on the lower spots for sure. The lower spots get it, but not to the same level of attentiveness. Okay. So there's some seams on his tail and legs we could have dealt with and made him look a little better, but we didn't. So we're going to get some of this paint and we're just going to set it right here. We're going to get a little bit lighter of a coat. Using this elephant gray. I'm going to hit him with the air gun. I have a paintbrush in my mouth, but it's a +2 hot air gun of burning. Come back over here, you. Oh, got my finger right in the paint. We're just going to get the paint we already have and a little bit of that. We're going to mix that up and lighten that up a little bit. Not a whole bunch. You can even get that in that brown. It doesn't really matter too much. That brown's mostly dry, I think. Then we're just going to kind of touch some of the higher areas and lighten that up a little bit more. Because we want to have him to look kind of like the traditional like gray donkey from Shrek color, I think is what I was kind of going for here. That's what I think is my plan. Now you could come over to this guy with a dark wash or a strong tone or something and probably get a pretty desirable effect. That is, however, not what I'm going to do. I'm just trying to capture this little bit of darkness here. So I'm going to get that brush put away. I'm going to get this brush back out. We're going to get a little bit of black. I need something shiny. There we go. Excuse me. A little sneasel. So we're just going to get a damp brush. It's on this black paint. We're just going to kind of touch around his mane. You don't want to go overboard with this. You just want to darken it up. You don't want to paint it black per se. I went way too overboard. I used way too much. I covered color onto his not black parts like a dumbass. So make sure you don't do that. And let's get his little tassel on the end of his tail, a little hair wad. With that same kind of watered down. Let's do his little feet. go. Nice. Something like that. Let's get that brush cleaned out, and let's do those rocks a little bit lighter too while we're here. We're gonna hit them once with a kind of hitting some spots deal, and we're gonna hit them once with this lighter shit. Excuse my French. This lighter stuff. And we're just gonna touch some of the highest spots with that lighter. Now we're going to get this brown we had out that we didn't put away, this lighter brown, this like medium tone. We're just going to mix up whatever we have here in the brush, and that's okay. We're going to apply that off, and we're going to do a little bit of making sure the dirt's some different colors, because dirt's not all one color. I say this all the time, but it's really not all one color. I'm going to darken up that rock where I made it too bright right where there's that. Okay. Then we're going to get that black, because I forgot to do around the edge. It's starting to get hot in here now. I shouldn't have said anything. Dang me. Alright, so you can come back and do as much detail at this point as you want. You can color all your little straps with a little dry brush on them, or whatever you want to do. But for me, I think I'm going to just take a good look at him and see if he needs anything special, or she. This is actually not a gender-specific donkey or mule or whatever have you. This is just a... You can pretend it's whatever you want. Maybe one of your characters has a mule they paid it for that they drag around with their loot on it. And you spend your time doing your best job as a game master killing it, because that's what you should be doing with any pets people buy. Let's just kill them so you don't have to track them. People laugh, but that's actually true. That is the best way to handle pets. Just kill them. Alright, so let's get his eyes. This brush is not very fine, but we're just going to hit a little black paint on those. Something like that. So he kind of looks how we want him to look like a pack mule. I think I'd like to do something a little with that one bag, something a little reddish. So what I'm doing is I'm going to look for this chestnut color I have. It's like a reddish brown. I'm going to rinse that brush out and get a little bit on here. A little bit of water. It's not a very good rinse, by the way. I just kind of half-assed it. Then I'm going to get this reddish brown, and I'm going to water it down a little bit. Here we go, something like that. I'm just going to hit this other bag with it that I wanted to lighten up. When that dries, it'll have a different tone and it'll stick out a little better. There we go, something like that. Just to give it a little more. And I think I'd like to actually do something like that with this here too. Get a little bit of that and a little bit of this water. Let me see if I can't make that bedroll a little bit lighter. It's really wet, so it's soaking in. That means the drying phase is going to be slow. There we go. Now he's got some different shades to him. He's got some different little looks. It's not all one color. I'm going to take that reddish and some of that water. I'm going to get some of this. And I'm going to just touch that handle of that, whatever this thing is, shovel. I'm just going to change the tone of that a little bit too, just so it just give me some variation. Alright, now I'm getting stupid. Let's get a little more water here. Let's get a little bit of this brown. Let's hit this backpack with that. And a little more red. see this backpack with this. And hope it's not too orangish red. Alright, so it's a little bit different. It's not perfect. But he looks like we want him to. He looks like he's doing an adventure of some sort. Alright. This could be the Bill from The Hobbit or whatever book that is, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, I think. It could be Bill, or it could be whatever you need it to be. Not a spectacular paint job, not a spectacular craft, but it was easy. So let's dry it off with a hot air gun. Plus 2 hot air gun of burning. Let's get a little bit of glue. A little bit of clear Elmer's. Let's get a crappy brush. And let's get a little grass on here. So we can use some of my homemade flock, or we can use some of that mossy stuff I've been using a lot that I've had for like 15 years. I think we'll use that because it looks actually pretty sharp. It's got a dark, a very unnatural, fake-looking dark look to it. It's definitely not a natural look, but in contrast, on a miniature base, I think it actually looks decent. Waste not, want not. Alright, so that's what we got there. Nice investment. I think it's probably, if you put them together, about an hour-ish worth of work to have a decent tabletop mini of a donkey or a pack mule or whatever. So I'm going to let him dry. I'm going to hit him with a little bit of clear coat, and we'll take him up and get a thumbnail. I'm going to go swim. Hey, this has been Doom from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you don't mind. It helps me out for the algorithm so that my channel can grow and we can get more people watching and more people maybe contributing by crafting stuff and showing us what it looks like. If you make this project or any of the projects, hey, hop on the Discord and send us a picture so we can see, or show us a video or whatever you got. If you would like to get some miniatures from us, the link's in the description. We have a 25% off discount code for your first month, and we also have on the Discord a free miniature discount code. So check those out if you wish. That'd be pretty helpful too, I suppose, making our business grow and getting minis into your house. So that's what we did there with a little bit of ripped up old t-shirt and some foam and some toothpicks and a zebra. Let's see what you can do too. I bet you can blow me out of the water. Have a good evening. Thanks for watching.